Alright guys, I am back with another meal prep video. This meal prep is going to be a little bit lower calories. We're going to aim for about the 1800 calorie mark, but still get in well enough protein for the day that we don't have to worry about losing any muscle while we're maybe losing a little bit of body fat. You can always add or subtract some food to meet your calorie range. For most males, I wouldn't recommend going anything less than what this amount of calories is. As a female, I mean, you can drop it down a little bit, but I mean, there's still a certain threshold they really don't want to drop below. If you have to drop below that, you need to up your expenditure, for say, so like go for a walk or more cardio. But enough of that. This is supposed to be a meal prep video. I'll get to that. So we're gonna be making French toast for breakfast. We're just gonna make up in big bulk batch. That way all we have to do is grab 4 slices, microwave it, and then we're good to go. So for every day for 4 slices, you want 184 grams. You have to times that by 5. That would bring you to 920 grams for the week. Add that into the bowl. And we might need another container. And we do. I hope this bowl's big enough. Oh, yeah, we got it. Almost there. Perfect. Now I got 920 grams of egg whites. We will take cinnamon and add a lot of cinnamon. Just sort of eyeball it. If you add cinnamon, you don't think you have enough after you actually take the whisker and whisk it up. Add some more. The vanilla, add a good bit of vanilla to it. Definitely probably around 30 gram mark, 30 or 40 grams. And then you want a 0 calorie sweetener. Doesn't have to be sucralose. It could be, what's the one called? Erythritol. It could be monk fruit. Any sort of artificial sweetener that's not going to add any calories to it. You can use. You don't have to worry about any negative side effects. There's been none proven other than in very bad studies. So we'll just add about 30 grams of that. There we go. We'll take the whisk and we'll whisk it up. It does take a little while sometimes to get the cinnamon to blend in. The cinnamon doesn't like to mix too well. So you just gotta have a little bit of patience with it. If you're using a fork, I feel sorry for you. Definitely, a whisk is definitely worth $1 at Walmart. So after you get that all mixed up, you can get rid of your food scale. Come over and grab your bread. So I always skip the end piece because it doesn't seem like it likes to hold egg whites too well. So 4 slices, you're gonna need 20 slices total. You can use any bread that you want, it doesn't matter. Walmart was all out of the white bread, so we had to go with the wheat. 4, 8, 12, need another 8 slices. So basically one whole loaf. Now, I will say, make sure on your baking sheet you put down a sheet of parchment paper, because if not, you will not have a fun time. And believe me, I've learned from experience. It is not fun sitting there for the next 30 minutes trying to scrape up all the egg whites off of it. So put your parchment paper down, take some spray, no stick spray, and spray it on there quickly. And then all you have to do is dip the bread into the egg whites, set them on the baking sheet, and put them in the oven. So I forgot to get the oven preheating while I was laying everything out on the baking sheet, and I wasn't able to fit the last 5 slices on the baking sheet. So while the oven's preheating and while the French toast is cooking in the oven, I'm gonna cook the final 5 slices on the stove top here. And we have 5 slices, but we don't have very many egg whites left in here. So if you have that issue, just simply add an extra 3 or 4 servings of egg whites. If you add 4, it's going to add an extra 100 calories to your whole week. So add 20 calories to your daily intake, and you're going to be right. You'll be right on. So that's what I would do. Don't cut yourself short on actual food. Just, I mean, an extra 20 calories should not make and break your diet at this point. Not 20 calories. So. Alright, well, I'll get to cooking here, and I will be right back when we're all finished up. Alright guys, so after about 15 to 20 minutes of the French toast being in the oven, it will be complete. Make sure you don't overcook it. The top of it should feel just like a little bit spongy. It should be solid, but a little spongy. Pull it out, set it onto a tray, and let it cool till then. I mean, we have 5 piles of French toast. I mean, one of these piles each morning, it does fill you up for a while. It has 280 calories for the bread, and you're looking at about 100 calories for the egg whites. So you're looking at about 30 grams of protein every morning for beef, right around 400 calorie mark, 380. So very high protein breakfast. Right after that, we're going to go over to the chicken, start meal prepping for that. We're going to have 2 chicken broccoli and rice meals per day. 1 serving of chicken. If you want to up the calories, adding an extra serving of chicken would be your best bet with that. That way you make sure you get your protein in, especially if you're a little bit of a heavier person. You always want to have 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. So if you have 30 pounds to lose to have 0 fat, and that puts you at 200 pounds, 0 body fat, you want to have 200 grams of protein per day, especially in a deficit. So we'll go ahead and start cutting up the chicken. And I will reuse the parchment paper on the pan from the French toast for the chicken. That way we aren't wasting anything. So whenever you cut your chicken up, make sure you are trimming off all of the fat and gristle. I mean, no one likes the gristle anyways, but the fat's a definite, you need to get rid of that. Alright, so we have 113 grams per serving. We're going to need 3 servings of chicken per day. For 5 days, that'd be 15 servings of chicken we're going to need. Alright guys, now we got all the chicken all weighed out, 15 piles of it for 1 serving each pile. I just like to take some salt and pepper, sprinkle over everything, get it seasoned. That way it adds a little bit of flavor to it whenever you're eating it. Then afterwards, the oven that you cook the French toast in, you could leave it on the whole time, because it only takes probably about 5 to 10 minutes to weigh all this out. And we'll just throw it in there for right around the 15 to 20 minute mark again, and our chicken should be cooked. Alright, so while we're waiting on that, I want to package up the French toast, get that put away. I like to use freezer bags for that. I don't put them in the freezer, I just put them in the fridge. If you want to use a large container to put it all in, by all means go for it. It really doesn't matter how you store it, just as long as it is airtight. Otherwise it will dry out throughout the week. Alright guys, I'm back. The rice is done cooking. The chicken has about another 5 minutes left, so I'll go ahead and start getting the rice weighed out and some of the broccoli too for the meals. You want to take your total amount of rice after it's cooked, weigh it, and you take the weight divided about the amount of plates that you have. So I have 10 of them, so I take the total amount of weight divided by 10, and I get how many grams I need per container. Zero everything out, and then we weigh. It should be at a negative number, whatever number you say. So I should be at negative 146 whenever I'm done. Take it over, and we're 32 grams of it. One done. Alright guys, so you guys can sort of see the process. And then also I will be adding broccoli in. So we're going to add roughly like half a bag I usually don't weigh the broccoli out. I'm dividing one bag up into 2 platters, so it's going to be 1 bag of broccoli per day, which is 100 calories per bag. If you have a little bit off here and there, it's not going to matter as long as at the end of the week you're at your calorie deficit or at the calories you need for maintenance, whatever you're trying to do. So just take the bag of broccoli and try to open it up. Bag of broccoli in half. Alright, then whenever the chicken gets done, you just add the slice of chicken to it. And I'm just going to go ahead and get all this done and let you guys avoid all the losing your patience with me, watching me separate all this out. So, alright guys, so for the last meal that we will be preparing, it will be spaghetti. We won't be using your normal noodles. It's going to be, if you guys have ever heard of spaghetti squash, that is like the ultimate way to make spaghetti on a diet. It tastes, I mean, I think it tastes 80 to 90% just as good. The texture is definitely a lot different, but it resembles the spaghetti. So I mean, that's really what we're going for. Stick to the diet, be able to eat the foods that we like, and actually enjoy what we're eating. So to cut these open, you will cut the end off, is going to be the easiest to do. They are extremely tough. There we go. Stick your knife in and wash your fingers. You need to cut these things in half. The sharper the knife, the better. If you don't have a good knife, go get one. This is a good knife, and I'm still struggling to get through it. There we go. Alright. So, now that you have your spaghetti squash cut in half, you will take a spoon, and just like a pumpkin or anything else, you'll want to scrape out all the seeds in the center. Once you get all the seeds scraped to the end, you might have to use your hand to grab it. And get the rest of that out. Alright, so you'll proceed to do that with all your spaghetti squashes. Essentially, you can make as much spaghetti as you want. Every 101 grams, I believe, is right around 30 calories. So you can make, I've made about 3 pounds of spaghetti before with this for only a little over 300 calories. It's pretty insane the amount of food that you can eat with this. So I'm going to continue doing this, and after we get everything done, the oven needs to be preheated at 400 degrees. You're going to cook these for about an hour or until they're soft. You'll see the texture start to change a little bit, and that's how you know when to switch it. I will make a little clip to show you guys what it looks like whenever they are finished. I'm going to get back to it, and I'll see you guys shortly. Alright guys, so the spaghetti squash has finished cooking. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Pull that out. So you're going to see like how it starts to crack and dry out right around the edge of that. That's how you're going to know it's done. That way you make sure it's nice and soft the whole way through. So be sure to let these cool off for a healthy amount of time. That way you aren't burning yourself the whole time you're trying to shred this up. So after they cool down, I'll be back and I'll show you what to do next. Alright guys, so the spaghetti squash has cooled off. This is what it should look like. And it should be extremely easy to do. You should just take the fork and get like that, and it will come off in like a really stringy manner. Just take it and make sure you turn your scale on first and like May, and just get it through and use a fork to shred it up, and you're gonna basically make your spaghetti. If you are vegetarian, you can use this. Just use some sort of use a protein source. I'm not sure. I haven't done a whole lot of studying into protein sources for vegetarians, so that's on you guys. But it is this is extremely easy to do. One of my probably one of my favorite meals to make. Now that we have gotten all the spaghetti squash shredded up, you guys are going to see just exactly how much food you can actually eat for a small amount of calories. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the container on our food scale, and I took the total weight from all of this and divided up into 5 and got 611 grams per bowl. That's slightly over 6 servings, which should put us at about 184 calories. About 184, I believe. It's 184 or 186, one of the two, for 606 grams of this. And then everything else, the sauces, whatever your protein source is, just adds the extra calories to it. But we'll go ahead and get started here. Just need 606 grams. A little bit less. There we go. And then I'm going to put 2 servings of spaghetti sauce. I use the Hunt's garlic and herb. It's the lowest calorie you can get. It's 35 calories per half cup, or 35 calories for 125 grams. So I'm putting 2 servings in, be 250 grams. This would be 862 is what I need. Go. And then to top it off for a protein source, I will be using 1 serving of chicken. So just take the chicken and you want to cut up into small bits, that way it spreads out over more of your pasta, so you're not having so many bites without the chicken in it. If you want to use like a turkey pepperoni, or like an extra lean ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken, I mean, you can really use whatever you want for your protein source in this. It's all going to taste good in the end. Just make sure you try to stay away from any like really fatty beefs. You can pretty much customize any of this stuff the way that you like it. I mean, you should be enjoying the food that you're eating. This should be something that you could up the calories a little bit and stay on the diet year round. You should enjoy the food that much. Let me come around here and show you guys what it looks like. Right there, you're talking about a lot of spaghetti for very little amount of calories. So you're looking at about 184. That'd be 194, 294. You're looking at about 350 calories for this whole thing. And this thing weighs, if I zero it out, This thing weighs almost 2.5 pounds. So 2.5 pounds of food and you get 350 calories out of it. I mean, that's phenomenal. It's going to keep you full for hours on end. If you eat this 3 or 4 meals a day, I guarantee it'd be impossible to gain any weight, no matter what your expenditure is on calories. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these, and then I will see you at the end. Okay guys, we are back and everything is complete. This is the entire week's worth of meals. We have French toast. You can add on some sugar-free syrup. You can find anywhere. Miss Buttersworth seems to be the best. I prefer the Great Value. It's a little bit cheaper if you get the off-brand, but it's up to you guys. We have spaghetti here with 1 serving of chicken. It came out to, for 611 grams spaghetti squash, was only like 160 calories, guys. I mean, you really can't beat that. If you were to double it up, still, I mean, 320 calories for over 1,200 grams. For the French toast, I like putting it in a gallon freezer bag. It will fit 4 stacks, 4 slices thick in a gallon bag. That's the best way I think it is to sort. And then we have the broccoli, rice, and chicken over here. Now, I understand like chicken, broccoli, and rice is like classic bodybuilder, but it's honestly a really good meal as long as you season it right. Use different seasonings on it. Be careful which ones you use. They aren't adding too many more calories, but by all means, you want to get some Walden Farms on there, some fat-free dressings. Throw some soy sauce, mustard, Frank's Red Hot, anything to add a little bit of flavor and throw it up and make it taste different day to day is what you want to do. Keep it exciting a little bit. I mean, your diet shouldn't be boring even though you're trying to lose weight. If you want to sub it out, you could always make like a salad wrap, have a salad. As long as you're meeting your calorie requirements for your deficit or maintenance, you are going to either lose weight, maintain weight. If you go over your calories, you're going to gain weight. It all depends on what your goals are, and just you need to have a good understanding of what causes the weight gain, weight loss. So as long as you're below your calorie expenditure for the day, you are guaranteed to lose weight to some extent or another. So for this entire day of meals here, where you get the 2.5 pounds of spaghetti, your chicken, broccoli, and rice, 2 meals of that, and your French toast, you're coming out to 1,370 calories for all of this. Now, with this, I'm factoring in a cheat meal. So you should be able, the diet's going to be going to 1,800 calories. So that allows a 430 calorie cheat meal that they can have. They could be a Reese cup, if you get the thin Reese cups, it'd be 2 or 3 of those. It could be a cookie or anything. It doesn't matter because there's 126 grams of protein, so we're reaching the protein requirements. It's 192 grams of carbs, and there's 14 grams of fat. It's a little low in the fat, but as long as your body handles it well, it doesn't matter. If you start noticing some issues, you might want to try like upping the fat a little bit and playing around with that, but for the most part, as long as you're reaching your protein goals, you're good. So like I said, it's always nice to be under your calories a little bit and be able to be full, and then be able to, at the end of the night, if you want a candy bar, have a candy bar. You have that freedom to go do that. Or if you're like, okay, well, I'm full, so I'll just save these calories for the next day. The next day, you could have a 660 calorie treat. You can go get 1 donut. I mean, you don't want to be unhealthy about it. Save those calories for the end of the week, so you have like over 1,000 calories extra at the end of the week. But from day to day, you can carry calories over one day and still be healthy about it. That's about all I have to say. This is a great meal plan for starters. If you want to up the calories, lower calories, it's pretty easy to navigate that. Just plus or minus a couple things. If you guys do have any more questions, please leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer anything. I'm just here trying to help you guys out, help share some of my knowledge that I've been gaining over the past decade plus. So until next time, I will see you later.